If you just joined us, we're speaking with Heidi Ilgen, a longtime trainer with Southeastern Guide Dogs. If you'd like to join the conversation, ask Heidi a question, please call 813-239-9663, or you can email us at dj@wmnf.org. Okay, well, so let's sort of delve into perhaps the truly central part of this world, at least for many of us. I mean, in broad strokes, maybe you could walk us through the main steps in the process of a dog potentially becoming a guide dog. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty tightly scripted timetable, and at a number of those steps along the way, there's a chance that the dog will move forward, or the dog might veer off into a different path. Maybe you could sort of walk us through that a bit.
Correct. All of our dogs are bred at our school. We have a very strict regimen of the types of dogs that we use, and we try to maintain the quality of the dogs with hips and conformation with OFA and elbows, soundness as far as their personality. It starts from the day they're born. The day that they're born at our school, we have volunteers that start conditioning them with a very soft, gentle touch and getting them used to the positive human reinforcement. Once they reach about 9 weeks of age, they're socialized along the way at our facility, at our campus in Palmetto. But then they're adopted into a family who opens up their heart and their home to raise these puppies for about a year and a half. They're provided with a jacket and identification, and they start socializing these puppies. They not only teach them all of the basics, such as housebreaking and house manners, but they take these puppies everywhere they can possibly take them out into the general public. And they make this a fun experience for these puppies. So they get used to the sounds and the sights and everything that goes on around them that you and I would take for granted. A truck hitting a pothole making a loud sound, somebody slamming a newspaper box, doors slamming, children screaming, sirens going off. All of this is conducive to raising a sound dog that's going to take everything in stride. Once they hit about a year and a half, these puppy raisers have a very heart-wrenching task of bringing these dogs in and turning them back over to our school. And it's not easy for a lot of people because they've had a tough job. I mean, they've had them since they were cute little cuddly puppies, gone through all of the mannerisms, kind of gotten them over the hump, and seen them come full circle. And now it's time to send them off to college. And for a lot of people, it's hard for them because they've become very strongly bonded to these dogs, and they're unsure of what's going to happen next. Once they come into our school, we have a wonderful team of staff there that takes these dogs and gets them acclimated into a kennel environment. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to understand because they are coming from a home environment into a kennel environment, but that's the only way that we can train and produce the amount of dogs that we need to place with the amount of graduates and applicants that are looking to get a guide dog, because some of them don't make the program. And by that I mean by sometimes the hips aren't going to qualify for the guide dog program, or with the best raising possible, we may find with the added responsibility of guiding that they do become a little bit more fearful of heavy traffic, or there's some uncertainties that aren't going to qualify them for guide dogs.
Well, yeah, so Heidi, I mean, I think this sort of happens at multiple places along their path, but even in the sort of puppy raising stage, I assume these people, like you say, it's heart-wrenching to give them up and give them back after what they've done and the time they've spent and the bonding they've obviously had with them. But are they also keeping an eye out for other things beyond just hips, but just behavioral things that are now identified as sort of red flags, or at least strong pink flags, like, hey, maybe this guy or gal isn't necessarily going to be the guide dog we thought?
Yes, they have a great support system in the puppy raising program. They have what they call area coordinators, who are lead people who help get the groups together. They help evaluate the puppies. They can troubleshoot together, and they also can identify potential problems. They also can come back to the school, and we can add added supportive suggestions and ideas, or possibly make the decision early on that this dog may not be successful as a guide dog. But sometimes it's just more time with maturity too.
Sure, so they might overcome some of this. But what were some things in those first year and a half, or that first period, that probably are more regular things that pop up that's like, uh-oh, this is something we either got to watch carefully, or again, just give them a little more attention or time or training Are there certain things that you know, kind of in a small group like that?
Sometimes you'll see a dog that may not be able to handle the intensity of heavy traffic. If you get them out on a city street where the traffic is in close proximity to the sidewalk, the sounds of the traffic are very strong, you may see the young dog showing some subtle signs of maybe just ducking its head down a little bit or trying to move a little bit farther away from the edge of the road to try to get away from that traffic. Sometimes they can even develop a little bit of a nervousness if they've maybe not encountered on a large basis, maybe a gentleman wearing a hat. It can
just
be
certain things that might kind of unsettle the dog.
Various things. But again, a lot of times in the puppy program, it's a matter of a gentle exposure, giving it a little bit more time, and a lot of times they will outgrow this. But again, sometimes they can come back when they come in for their formal training.
And